Unique stories that define our state's character. Here's Kevin Mackey with this week's Montana Moment, brought to you by Montana Chevy Dealers.
Its rich soil, climate, and history of agricultural trade gave Missoula its special title, the Garden City. As we move into planting season, spring is bringing its earliest blooms to Missoula. In our Montana Moment, Kevin Mackey with the Phlox Fest.
Rocky Mountain Gardens at the Missoula County Fairgrounds has celebrated its first annual spring opening. It brought crowds to enjoy early spring flowers, budding trees, and to learn more about gardening. This public botanical gardens is new to Missoula.
That includes about 20 different planting areas, all with a unique purpose or planting style.
It's still early, but as the weather warms up and we move deep into summer, you'll find more and more native and non-native plants popping up.
We have several gardens within the gardens that are exclusively native plants. That would be our Western Forest Garden, our Native Prairie, and our Montana Crevice Garden. Outside of those native plantings, those specifically native plantings, we do have native plants sprinkled within some of the other garden spaces. But all of the gardens include species that are hardy to the Missoula climate.
That includes hardy, non-native plants. This event showcased everything in the gardens, but they call it the Phlox Fest to bring attention to this little plant.
So it's a cushion plant, which means that it has this growth form that looks literally like a little pillow. So it's really low to the ground, uses really, really dense leaves that can basically hold heat.
Phlox plants can be found all over the country, but this one's special. It's called the Missoula phlox.
What makes Missoula phlox unique to Missoula is that it's only found in 4 sites in the North Hills. So it's found on these windswept, really harsh, arid ridges at a couple of the preserves around town, and is not found anywhere else in the world.
Botanist Thomas Wherry identified Missoula phlox as a new species in the 1940s.
And he looked at the individual characters of our phlox specimens and noted that we had at least 12 specimens that were specifically Missoula phlox.
Missoula phlox is especially abundant on Waterworks Hill north of Missoula.
So the fact that we have this plant here and that it's so local that you can just take a hike right up to Waterworks to see it is really special and unique.
But if you're looking for any wildflower or just a view from Missoula's gorgeous hills, it's a good time to spend on the trail. It's only going to get better as the weeks pass. Missoulians have always been prolific gardeners. In March, volunteers from the Five Valleys Seed Library package huge volumes of seeds for the public. They're free.
We get our seeds from local gardeners and farmers, and also from the local businesses.
Most of those seeds can be found at Five Valleys' main home at Garden City Harvest. But there are seed cabinets all over Missoula, including the Missoula Public Library. The seed program's become hugely popular.
There's always people that garden, but I'd say that especially since COVID, a lot of people picked it up. And then, you know, with the last few years with the groceries being so high, we definitely see more people wanting to try.
The botanical gardens are like a candy store for gardeners looking for new ways to plant, to research. Is it something I can do in my own garden? There's a lot to explore.
Pollinator gardens, ornamental gardens, flowering bee lawns, annual flowers. So we just have all sorts of different spaces here, and it's a space for education, for exploration, and really just for joy.
Winter is over. Everything is new.
This is one of my favorite times of year because those early bloomers like the Missoula phlox are going, and you're seeing the first signs of life.
Rocky Mountain Gardens, being so new, is still in its infancy. But just imagine when the trees and shrubs grow big and the plants mature, what it will look like in 20 years or 50 years. Here in the Garden City, in the heart of Missoula. Kevin Mackey, NBC Montana.